No sooner had Rashmi Samant's book, A Hindu in Oxford, became a bestseller, the people have started attacking her. What is the reason for this? Well, perhaps what is in that book is rattling them, because some of them have perhaps skeletons in their closet. Well, let us take a quick look at all the people who are beginning to come out of the woods and they're trying to smear Rashmi's name for her experience, the way she was treated in Oxford, the way that election played out. I'm going to share with you some data which is very, very interesting, and do stay till the end because there's a bombshell at the very end. Sometimes we stick it to ourselves. Anyway, so please like this video and do not forget to subscribe to our channel if you have not already done so. So what is it that we are going to talk about? We are going to talk about Rashmi's new book, A Hindu in Oxford. We all remember that this was in 2021, if I remember correctly, that she had been elected as the first female student to become the president of Oxford University Students' Union, and then the attack started. And who were the ones who were attacking her? Well, we'll take a quick look at how many people did it. One of them was this person called Anvee Bhutani, and I'm going to come to her, where she comes from, what does she stand for, and so on and so forth. Unfortunately or fortunately, in this case, 𝙒𝙖𝙪𝙤𝙦 is turning out to be true. She is from California. In fact, she is from San Jose. She has gone to a school that I'm very familiar with. First of all, here is somebody who succeeded Rashmi as the president of the Students' Union, and then suddenly she wants to not want to be saying that anything or everything that Rashmi wrote is true. Why? This is what was a question that was answered by 𝙒𝙖𝙪𝙤𝙦. But then before that, Mr. Zubair, when he jumps in defense of somebody, then you know where those somebodies are in their ideological space. There are three people here. One of them was, of course, Anvee Bhutani. The other two, I'm not going to bother mentioning their names. If you go and look at his timeline, you can get the names and what they stand for. People basically are trying to change the narrative. After having done all the damage to Rashmi, now they are trying to change the narrative. Well, Abhijit, in his own inimitable form, says that Anvee is a US citizen, not an Indian. I don't think that makes a difference. The other side is thinking pan-Islam or pan-religion. You have no choice but to say that this is also, if that person says or calls herself to be Hindu, then it is a Hindu. So let's not put too much weight into the fact that Abhijit saying she's a US citizen. So what? I mean, the name seems to indicate that she's a Hindu. Just set that thing aside for a moment. Let's not, judge her based on that. But he said that she had led the lynch mobs against Rashmi. I'm going to supply you the proof for that. And is the type who visits India to spew bile and got elected because she's the kind of mediocrity that gets ahead by being the jihadist useful idiot. This is Mr. Abhijit's rant. So let's just leave it at that. Anybody has a right to go back and visit their place of birth. You can, ideologically disagree. Anyway, I'm just going to let that thing pass. So let us take a quick look at what did she do that led to Rashmi quitting her post as the president. In fact, she even went back to India for a few months, got herself composed, and then came back and then finished her degree and returned to India. That's where things stand right now. In fact, if you remember, she got embroiled in this Udupi gate, and I in fact had her lawyer come on PGurus on a hangout to explain where things stand. That's just an aside for you. So who is Anvee Bhutani? She, at the time Rashmi was the president, she was a co-chair of Campaign for Racial Awareness and Equality, president of the Oxford India Society, treasurer of the Oxford Hindu Society. So I'm assuming that she's a Hindu. All of which came out with public statements condemning Samant, causing her to step down. What was the reason why everybody ganged up against her? So they are saying that she tweeted something when, a few years before that. She was 18, I think, when she went to Oxford, 18, 19, small, very young. And that means she tweeted when she was still in her formative years. Why is that being held against her? This is like, if you want to try and, character assassinate anyone, you will always find something to do that to them. But when it is done with the purpose of how dare a Hindu become the president of Oxford Students' Union, that's when things get tricky. So, where is she now? She is apparently working at BBC. I'll give you that information. I just wanted to show it to you that she was found with Rahul Gandhi. She was invited to Parliament amidst MPs, academicians and journalists to hear Rahul Gandhi speak. Oh my goodness. I'm sure that was a very enlightening session. Here's her education. She went to school to Archbishop Mitty School, which is in San Jose. I'm very familiar with that school. It's a good school. It has produced many Olympic athletes, and it's also got a very rounded education. I don't think her ideas got formed. I mean, they are a Jesuit school. They're a private school. They're a Jesuit school. They're an expensive school. But I have, my kids went to similar schools. They don't, preach religion as a religion. It's more like morality. They have a couple of classes that you have to take that tells you what is right and what is wrong. I mean, the essential essence of Sanatana Dharma, Satyam Vada, Dharmanchara, that sort of stuff. So this is what is her background, and now she is working at the BBC, British Broadcasting Corporation, and well, that says it all. So that's probably how she got her invite. One other person who spearheaded the attack on Rashmi Samant is Dr. Abhijit Sarkar. He was a postdoctoral researcher at Oxford, and there has been nothing on him, nothing against him. I mean, no action has been taken against him despite a lot of complaints being filed. What I'm hearing as of a few hours ago, he still works at Oxford and is on a grant from the Indian government to write a revisionist history of Churchill's role in Bengal famine. The whole thing about how 4 to 6 million Bengalis died because Churchill, basically took the food that was produced there to stockpile it for the armed forces who were fighting in Second World War. Now he is trying to, maybe sugarcoat it. I don't know what it is. But the thing that appalls me, that shocks me, is that he is actually working there on a grant from the Indian government. I don't know when this grant was given. I hope the Indian government authorities review it and pull this thing back. I mean, this is abhorrent. You are doing so much work to try and set right the image of a Sanatani and a Hindu. You basically using your money to stick it to you. That's how I feel. You can decide, viewers, whether you agree with me or not. By way of comments, you can tell me. But this is just the beginning. They are really two things that concerns them. One is, what are the truths that are going to come out? And the second thing is, this has really blown up spectacularly in their faces. So that's why all this is happening. This is just the beginning. You will see a lot more on this as this book starts to scorch the bestseller charts. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications.